Hello YouTube, it is your boy GZTV. I know my hair looks a little fucked up. I just hit some cardio. GZTV, back to another video. We are here to talk about the NBA. It is November 1st. It's the first of the month, Playboy Cardi type shit. And we had a lot of games on the slate for tonight, so it was interesting, to kind of watch those and talk about, and it's going to be interesting to talk about them. So, every close game you talk about, we're going to talk about the Trailblazers Pistons. Not a great game, not a game everyone's really hyped about, but yeah, we got to kind of talk about it. So, Shaedon Sharpe is a big second half in Trailblazers comeback victory over the Pistons. Great second half scoring wise for Shaedon Sharpe tonight. They were down by 18. There's a lot of chokes, and we will get to another big lead getting destroyed. So, nice little 9-point victory for the Trailblazers. The Blazers kind of started the game momentous, and then they kind of fell off. A lot of big plays. Impressive offense for Cade Cunningham, though. Big dunks, layups, everything. Just at the rim stuff. Oscar Thompson showing his athleticism this game. Joe Harris has been kind of quiet this year. We kind of expected him to be more of a three-point shooter, but he finally got some shots in, and yeah. Pretty good game for the Trailblazers, though. 24 points for Jeremy Grant, shooting 50% from three. DeAndre Ayton has started to kind of find his flair with this team. 16 points, 11 rebounds. 29 points for Shaedon Sharpe, who also shot 50% from three. So really good games for them. You look at the Pistons, and Cade Cunningham can't be doing it all. He played amazing. He had 30 points. But he cannot be doing it all for the Pistons if they want to win games. And I'm going to be honest, Killian Hayes is a fucking bum. I don't care. I've been saying this for a while. He's been a problem for this team. If they're going to be any better than anyone else in the league, they have to start Jaden Ivey. I don't know why Killian Hayes is getting minutes over him. I just don't get it. Hell, even Marcus Sasser off the fucking bench, who's like barely even that good, should get minutes over him. I don't care. I firmly believe that. I do not think that Killian Hayes is going to cut it anymore for them at that guard position. But moving on to the next game I want to talk about, we can talk about the Wizards and the Hawks. DeJounte Murray leads a balanced scoring attack as the Hawks beat the Wizards by 9. Kind of impressed with the Hawks' gameplay recently. They've actually been playing really well. DeJounte Murray, good scoring tonight. And, yeah, third straight win. The Hawks are kind of on a streak. They got a big win against the Bucks the other night. And, yeah, amazing passes for Trae Young, though. Just on full display of his amazing, playmaking abilities. Saddiq Bey turning defense into offense. He's pretty good at that. Obviously, DeJounte Murray showing off some athleticism. Clint Capella getting some tough shots to fall. DeAndre Hunter, we've known him to be a pretty good defensive player. He made some plays. You look at the Wizards, though. 25 points for Kyle Kuzma, 22 for Danny Avdija off of 50% three-point shooting, and that is really it. Kind of disappointed on how Tyus Jones played. I know he has potential to play better than that for this organization, and he just needs to do it, man. It just comes down to it. He was a really solid guard for the Grizzlies when Ja got hurt and all that. He needs to take that and bring it to this team. They really need it. This is a team that's obviously not going to be that good this year, but yeah, looking at the Hawks, DeAndre Hunter had 23. He shot 50%. 10 points, 11 rebounds for Clint Capella, who shot 67%. 23 points, 10 assists for Trae Young. He shot 33% from three. And DeJounte Murray finished 24 points, 60% from three, 67% from the field, 16 points and 11 rebounds for Onyeka Okongwu off the bench as well. Just a lot of good games for the Hawks here. He ended up shooting 75%. So, yeah, Nets, Heat, there was a lot of good games on tonight. There was hardly any bad games. There definitely were some blowouts. I'm not going to talk about the Celtics, obviously, because it's not worth anybody's time. But the Nets and the Heat, Nets rally in the second half. They beat the Heat by 4 to add to Miami's quite miserable 1-4 start. We're talking about a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals, starting a season 1-4. Armani Brooks had practice on Tuesday for the G League team, and then he took a flight a couple hours after practice. That was an interesting story I heard on the broadcast. So, yeah, obviously Ben Simmons being a great at-the-rim defender. This was a pretty entertaining game, I would say. I watched a decent amount of it. Tough shots for Tyler Hero. Very smooth offense for him. Josh Richardson finally getting some minutes. He seemed kind of irrelevant to start the season, but he definitely deserves the minutes, and he got them, so that's kind of cool. Mikal Bridges had 21 points. I mean, that's really all it took for the Nets, is a guy to kind of stand out from other good teammates, obviously, and get some buckets. So that's exactly what Mikal Bridges did. Yeah, good for him. He's leading this team, and it's really cool to see him lead a team. As we get to the Heat looked like they should have won the game. I mean, Jimmy had 20. You get a 21-point, 14-rebound game for Bam Adebayo, who shot 67%. You get a 30-point performance for Tyler Hero, 60% from the three-point line. Honestly, Jaime Jaquez, though, that's not a good look. Emo Butler L, yes. Indeed, man. Emo Butler, that really threw the team's momentum off. I mean, I think it's a bad luck charm, actually. I've never really thought of that, but that's a good point. Jaime Jaquez as a rookie and getting starting minutes isn't really a good look for this team. It really shows that they're lacking right now, it seems. I don't know. I mean, I think Josh Richardson should probably get the start realistically over Jaime Jaquez, but yeah. Moving on to the Cavaliers-Knicks game. Really good game. They played on a back-to-back. They also played on a Tuesday, which is interesting, but Donovan Mitchell scores 30 points as the Cavaliers snap a 3-game skid. They beat the Knicks by 6. Yeah, amazing scoring for Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, at MSG, one of the biggest stages in the NBA. So, Donovan Mitchell not just playing offense, playing defense as well. The whole glitter thing with Chris Rock helping clean up was kind of funny, I guess. Jalen Brunson was hitting some shots. Evan Mobley was hitting some shots, but yeah, Donovan Mitchell is really a standout. He is so underrated in this league. He's a fantastic player. I mean, 30 points for him. He shot about 40% from 3, which is pretty good. Yeah, that's all they needed to win the game. It's just someone stepping up. That's just all it is. 24 points for Jalen Brunson. That's it for them. I mean, I don't think they really played that well. I feel like a guy like Quentin Grimes has got to go out there and score a little more, get a couple more buckets to fall. He's a good shooter, man. He can spot up if you give him the ball. He needs to do more of that. Pelicans Thunder, man. Yikes. 22-point lead for the Oklahoma City Thunder here. CJ McCollum scores 29 as the Pelicans overcome a 22-point deficit. The largest of the year so far. I'm sure that will be broken by probably the Chicago Bulls or something soon. The New Orleans Pelicans were inconsistent with their outside shooting, so they leaned on rebounding to get the win. Obviously, the Thunder, that's a really big problem with their roster. They're just such an undersized team. SGA had a game-winning 3 opportunity. That didn't go. Chet Holmgren was getting to the rim pretty well this game. Jalen Williams was hitting some tough shots. Zion hitting some moves on Chet. Chet is just too small. He cannot guard Zion. There's not a lot of players in this league that Chet, he can effectively guard like the more passive offensive players, but if there's a ball-dominant guy like Zion going against him, he's screwed. I'm just going to say that right now. I mean, Chet did play pretty good, though. I will give it to him. I mean, and his defense was good. It's just, I don't know. Thunder, worst team in the NBA, is kind of crazy. I would say the worst team in the NBA right now is definitely the Memphis Grizzlies at this point. But Zion Williamson, 20 points, 10 rebounds. Good game for him. 29 points, 11 rebounds for CJ. 3J McCollum. Great performance. He was destroying the Thunder. It looked like they couldn't miss a shot in the second half. Chet Holmgren, 19 points, 11 rebounds. You get a 20-point performance from Shea. I would say Lou Dort definitely has to step it up a little bit for this team. I don't really expect that much out of him as a player, but he should probably get a little more offensive touches, if I had to say. That's kind of my thing with that game. Hornets, Rockets, LaMelo, pretty disappointing game from a fantasy standpoint. Jalen Green scores 23, Fred VanVleet 22 as the Rockets earn their first win of the season. They get a 9-point victory. Great scoring from both Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet. Again, like I said, and Fred VanVleet also moving the ball. Very reminiscent of what he did on the Raptors, of course. Yeah, much earned win. Sorry. Amen Thompson, sorry, not Amen, it's Amen, I think. Had a nice little lob. Alperen Sengun, very intense player. The streak is finally over, eh? It is, man. The Battle of LA. 11 straight games. We will get to that in a second. But Nick Richards was playing some pretty good defense for the Hornets. Dylan Brooks hit a couple threes. Mark Williams was doing really good at scoring. Yeah, unfortunate game for the Heat for sure. Very unfortunate. Very unlucky, honestly. I don't even think they really played that bad. It just is what it is. It's the NBA. It's a tough league. But yeah, PJ Washington, 23 points. You get 21 out of Scary Terry. LaMelo really didn't do much of anything. But honestly, Mark Williams as a center, I feel like should definitely be able to score a little more for this team, especially with, to kind of keep pace with a guy like Alperen Sengun. He definitely got outplayed by him in that regard. Dylan Brooks had 20 points, didn't miss a single three. 22 and 11 for Fred VanVleet, 50% from three. 23 points from Jalen Green, 50% from three. LeBrick, eh? I don't know. Jalen Green, finally kind of having some solid offensive games. He's kind of struggled at the beginning of the year. We can move on to the Bulls and Mavericks game as we get Grant Williams and Tim Hardaway, lead the unbeaten Mavericks to a 9-point victory over the Bulls. That is something I definitely overlooked. I cannot believe they are 4-0. That is crazy. Shout out to the Mavericks. They actually have a pretty solid core built in their system here. Yeah, Grant Williams played fucking amazing. Great three-point shooting, great scoring, some of the best we've seen out of his career. Yeah, the Heat do blow leads. 18 points is wild. And against the Nets is a bit scary for them. So, yeah. This is the first time they've started 4-0 since Dirk, like early Dirk era. It's kind of crazy. DJJ is definitely going to get a couple dunks. Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to get some tough shots. Yeah, Bulls, man, it's not looking great. Luka Doncic, good passing. Derek Lively throwing him down a couple times. And, yeah, Grant Williams had big shot after big shot down the stretch. Shout out to him. He's a really good piece for the Mavs to pick up. Really underrated role player in the NBA. As we get a 21-20 stat line from Vucevic. That was kind of wild. 33% from three. 22 points out of Zach LaVine. That's really it. I mean, Patrick Williams definitely struggled for this team. Not really much to say. 25 minutes and going scoreless is kind of wild. Bulls winning it all is absolutely insane. They might... That's kind of crazy, honestly. I mean, they might not make... they'll make the play-in. They're definitely not making the playoffs, but... Grant Williams, 25 points, 70% shooting. You get 18 points, 10 assists out of Luka. Not even a good game for him, but they still got the dub. Tim Hardaway, 24 off the bench. So, yeah. Shout out to the Mavs for getting it done. Really good games in the late window. We can talk about Kings and Warriors. The Splash Brothers, man. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson send the Warriors past the Kings. They win by 1. The Warriors are looking quite impressive. I know they have that championship DNA in them, but really good games they've been playing this year. So the Golden State Warriors have faced the Northern Carolina rival Sacramento Kings 11 times in the last 17 games, including preseason matchups. That's kind of crazy how often we see those teams. Williams looking for a $40 million contract. I mean, if he somehow puts up 20 a game, which will never happen, it would be deserving, but that's not happening. So, yeah, Klay was the hero in this one. Really big shot to win the game. Moses Moody played some good defense for the Warriors. The Kings, man, without De'Aaron Fox, I guess I'll give it to him. Klay Thompson was playing some good defense. Steph Curry, obviously, tough threes are always going to be in his DNA. Great passing for Draymond Green. It's really cool to see Draymond Green come back for the last couple games. I mean, he's really fundamental to this team. You look at the Kings, though. I mean, Domantas Sabonis, 23 points, 11 rebounds. He shot 50%. Actually, a really good game for Sabonis. He definitely had to step up in a role without De'Aaron Fox, but no one else really did that much. I will say, Vezenkov I don't even know who that is, honestly. I don't even know. Chris Duarte could have played slightly better, I guess. Get more offensive opportunities. I don't even know what to put this on. And there's just no De'Aaron Fox, I guess. Steph Curry put up 21. He shot 40% from three. Really good game from him. That's really, or not really good, but a good game. Good enough. That's all they needed. So shout out to the Warriors for getting it done. Clippers, Lakers, definitely the best game of the night. Great game. Wasn't really that competitive at first. At halftime, it was like a 13-point game. I was like, yeah, we'll just stick to the Kings Warriors. But yeah, the Lakers hold off the Clippers by 5 in overtime to snap an 11-game losing streak in the LA rivalry. I don't know why for so long people were calling it the Battle of LA. It's not even a fair fight. I don't know. LeBron James, though, great stuff. Scoring the ball, rebounding the ball, played great. A prime type performance. This is some like Heat LeBron shit we're seeing here. Really good overtime period for Austin Reeves as well. He played great in that regard. But big win. Quite a vintage performance again from LeBron. Huge alley-oop in overtime. Christian Wood with a nice putback slam to seal the game. Paul George fouled out in overtime. That was kind of unfortunate. The foul on the three-point, some weirdo LeBron dick suckers are going to be like, oh, no, that wasn't a foul. Or, yeah, I don't know. Definitely touched his arm a little bit. It was kind of controversial because obviously it was at like damn near the buzzer, but still. Like 15 seconds left, but isn't this the third overtime game for them? I think it is actually. You might be right there. It's definitely their second. They had one against the Kings. They had one against the Clippers. You might be right. That is kind of scary for the Lakers. I mean, they're obviously not starting off in the worst way, but definitely not the best way. Clippers played really good, though. I don't know what else they could have done. I mean, 35 points for PG, 67% from three, 38 from Kawhi, 24 points and 11 rebounds for Westbrook. Westbrook's been super underrated. I mean, 50% from three was great. I guess Bones Highland definitely could have played a little better for this squad. They're picking up, obviously James Harden's going to be filling in for Bones. We'll have to see how that goes. That'll be interesting, but Lakers, Anthony Davis, 27 points, 10 rebounds. I mean, if this is what LeBron has to do to win games, it's kind of ridiculous considering they've been thinking of putting him on a minute restriction. Yeah, I don't know. LeBron, though, 35 points, 12 rebounds, 50% three-point shooting. D'Lo played really well, and no one's really talking about that. 27 points. Actually a really good game for D'Lo. Christian Wood, very fundamental off the bench for this team. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 50% from three, 67% from the field. So that's really all I have to say. Really good games tonight. Obviously a long-ass recap video because there were just so many games to talk about. So appreciate everyone for sliding through, having a big discussion every single night, man. You'll find me here after every game. So, I mean, this is supposed to be 80's team. I honestly think it is 80's team. I mean, I don't know. It is LeBron's team, yeah, especially after this performance. But it should be 80's team is what I guess I'm trying to say. Yeah, 80 definitely needs to take the driver's seat a couple times. He's playing amazing this year, but yeah, if AD can stay healthy, wow, what a year this team's gonna have. I think, I don't know, it's weird. It's a weird team. They're in a weird spot right now. But tomorrow I'll catch you guys at 11:30 because Spurs Suns is gonna end around